Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Chelsea. Hello, hi. Thank you for coming and stopping by with me. TikTok and Facebook are now like not just my daily life, but over here I'm going to get spooky because that is a big part of my life is being spooky, and that's who I is, guys. But I was going to share with you our property that I talked about in the last couple videos, what I think started that, and I think I opened a door and I didn't even mean to open it. This video is going to mention hunting, so if that's like a thing you guys don't do, please don't come for me. Let's be loving, let's be kind over here, let's agree to disagree on certain things. But my family and I, we hunt. And by hunt, I mean for deer, squirrel, not so much rabbit, but that's what we do. And no, I'm not one of these trophy hunters that go out and kill for the sport. No, I'm not. I go out and I hunt for food. That's what I do. So if it's going to be a long, winter and, my freezer's getting a little shabby, I'll go hunting. And that's why I do it. And, that's the main thing. And I think anytime you take the life of anything else, that you give thanks. You know what I mean? And I've really been deep rooted in when my kids eat something, they have to understand that what that animal went through. That was a sacrifice because we eat meat, that's what it had to go through. Anyway, tangent. Okay, so I hunt and it's up on a mountain and there's an old logging trail. And if you don't know what a logging trail is, back in the 1800s or so, when people were first settling the mountain that I live on, actually my ancestors settled this mountain. Fun fact, I didn't know this until I was going through my ancestry and I found that the name of the mountain was named after my great grandmother, or fourth great grandmother. And then I found out that it was my family. So this logging trail, before they cut through the boulders and the rock to actually put the road we use today in, they use the logging trail. And it's sketchy. So the mountain, let's just say, is here. You're going woo, 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 like back and forth up the side of this, rock face. And that's just what they did. They took their horse and their buggy and they came out and they did the dang thing, y'all. But me, that logging trail is no longer used for anybody. And I had some property that I was hunting that was below where I was living. And to get to there, you could walk down the logging trail, which was so much safer. But it's a long walk, especially with gear, your, stuff. It's a long walk from that property down the logging trail because you got to think they had to angle these things to go long. And this is a really high mountain. And so one day I went down there and I was with my daughter. I think it was my middle daughter, Chloe. We're down there, we're hunting, and there's a man that lives down the way a little bit that's really weird. He's really crazy. Like, if you wave at him, he'll flip you off. Like, he's just mean. And he's mad because his dad owned the property and then sold all the land. Like, when he died, they split the land up. So he's still butthurt that his sister sold the land to us. Anyway, so he often will take carcasses, deer carcasses that he does that, he unalives, and he will throw them on our bluff. So we'll have vultures and we'll have, bobcats. We'll have bad animals there because he knows we have chickens. He knows we have turkeys. That's the deal. Like, he's trying to really hurt us. Well, one day I'm out there hunting. This is not this day. I'm out there hunting, and this dude literally shoots at me. He shoots at me. And I see him, he holds it up, and it shoots. When he shoots, he hits the rock face beside, like, over a little bit. Of course, I have my thing. I told him, I said, I don't know what your deal is, but you better go on somewhere, because he was on our property. He was in our property, and he's mad because there's, a spring right there that used to belong to so-and-so, and now whatever. But the guy, he constantly would come, on to the property. So the day that I was down in the woods with my daughter, we go down in there. We're sitting down there, we're looking for squirrels, we're looking for anything pretty much, just trying to, and we're looking for pretty much anything that's moving to kind of scout it out. But I still carry with me just in case if something comes up. There's bobcats, there's mountain lions, there's all kinds of stuff. There's even bears up there. And So as we're walking, I see something peeking out from behind a tree. And I see it, and at first I think it might have just been a squirrel. You know how squirrels will come around a tree real quick and you'll think you saw something. Didn't know what it was. And, that was my thing. I didn't know what it was. It was just there. And I kept seeing it over and over and over and over. So I kind of get weirded out. And at this time that I'm getting weirded out, my uncle lets their dogs out, and his dog is a bird dog. He can track me. Like, he will come right to me. It doesn't matter where I'm at in the woods, and it will kind of irritate me because if I'm down there hunting, I don't want a dog finding me and messing me up, and scaring the deer off. But this day, he runs to me, he finds me, and I'm like, well, my hunting's over for the day. So I start walking out, and I see something like kind of, as I'm walking away, it's coming closer to me in the trees. And I'm not knowing what it is. I'm not hearing the steps. If it was a person, I'm not hearing that. All I'm doing is, when I'm turning around to look, I'm seeing that something has been following me, and something is there. I don't know what it is, but something's there. So we walk up out of the woods, me and her, we're walking, we get up there, and as we get up there, I hear this like screaming noise. And if you know mountain lions, they have this loud scream, and it sounds like a woman screaming, and I've even confused mountain lions with that. And it really is trippy. If you have never heard a mountain lion, Google it after the video. I don't know, but I heard that, and then that made me more inclined to figure out what this was. So, we go down in the woods again the next day. I'm seeing this, and I'm hearing it, I'm seeing it. Just to scare whatever it was, I fire off a couple warning shots. But my rifle is, it's a decent size, I guess you could say. But my rifle, when I fire it off, whatever this is, you can hear it running. And so I'm thinking, okay, it's a person, whatever. But that was whenever, and I didn't shoot in the direction. You never go hunting, and unless you are 100% sure that what you're shooting at is what you're meaning to shoot at, you do not even don't even sight it in on it. Like, don't. And do not turn, the safety off. I don't even rack one in the chamber till I know I'm about to fire. And that's very dangerous, so you don't do that. But, if you fire, you need to fire, into the ground. You never fire up, because what goes up must comes down. So when I did that, though, I fired twice into the ground. And whatever it was, took off, whatever. But after that, it was like stuff started happening. So I don't know if I pissed off the Fae. I don't know if I pissed off whatever these creatures were. I don't know what it was. But after that was when we would hear our names outside the house. That was whenever we would hear and see, and it got really creepy there for a minute. My husband, he's a skeptic too on everything, and I try to, make sense of things. I don't want to be like that person that's like, oh, well, it was a ghost and it was really just the wind blowing, you know what I mean? But yeah, that was, what I think started it all. So I guess give me just a second and I'll get back into another situation right after that. So I'll be right back. I don't do that. Bye.